Thank you. Welcome to the studio. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. For anyone that hasn't used Canva before, just give the basics. 240 million people around the world, but perhaps not all of the C-suite leaders here. How does it work? What does it do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Canva is a 13-year-old company. We're based out of Sydney, Australia. And Canva started with one clear mission, which is how do we empower the world to design? So for the first decade, we were very focused on the individual user. How do we get them to design as if they studied design for 15 years and they knew how to design as pros? When Mel started this, she was actually teaching how to use a very fragmented design ecosystem. So she saw that there was 50 different tools in order to be able to design as a pro. And she said, there's got to be a simpler way how to do this. Now, forward 13 years later, we have over 250 million active users. People are designing every day. And the next decade for us, we've been focusing on two things. We saw that the same ecosystem that we saw in design is present in AI. It's a very fragmented AI ecosystem, so we're bringing everything in one place. And the second is that people from 9 to 5, they also design. So the future of Canva is everybody will be able to design in a very easy way, whether you're at work or whether you're in your personal life.
Yeah, I've used it for both actually, for montages as a journalist, to accompany news articles, to creating birthday party invites and a flyer for a secondhand sale. I haven't really interacted a lot with the AI element. So tell us a bit about what that offers currently and what's on the cards there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing AI as a huge opportunity for designers and creatives because at the end of the day, AI, what it does is automates a lot of the stuff that is very repetitive and boring, so you can dedicate purely to design. So our design journey actually started in 2019. We acquired a company called Kaleido out of Vienna, and what they were doing was a very niche use case, which is how do you remove the background from images? And actually, that's one of the features that is widely used. So right now we have 50 billion uses of AI in the platform. Throughout that journey, we've thought about AI. We thought about three elements, which is one, how do we automate everything that people are finding very boring? Two, how do we integrate into the systems that people are using outside of Canva, just to have it in one place so it's not fragmented, whether that's VO3 or whether that's OpenAI with ChatGPT. And I would say three, we have an ecosystem of apps that are built with AI. So whatever anybody wants to do in our platform, they can do it with AI in an easier way.
Okay. And you've been doing a lot of research to find out more about your customer base and what they're looking for. And one of your bits of research recently looked at users across 12 different markets and suggested that 70% of business leaders are increasing investment in visual communication. That is a massive jump. Yeah. What exactly is driving that shift?
It's a good question because I've seen a lot of patterns from when millennials enter the workforce. Millennials, their first approach to software was not in their work. We're seeing the same with Gen Z. So their first, the first time they meet a software product is not at work. They come with an understanding of software that's very different. And now we're seeing Gen Zs enter the workplace. Gen Z, in our study, 90% of them have an expectation that they will be able to communicate visually. And that's how we retain information as humans. We are 74% more likely to retain information if it comes with a visually appealing content. So to answer your question very directly, we have Gen Z entering the workforce. We have more appetite for visual content than ever before. And third, it is the expectation, even our human brain is built to retain content that is visually appealing.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm looking at now is completely color-coded and in bold to try and help me remember what I'm supposed to be saying to you today, just as an example. But that study also flagged a number of key concerns amongst your users. So things like copyright issues, data privacy, bias in AI-generated content. And these are not small issues.
Yeah.
What is Canva doing to try and address these top concerns?
Absolutely. So to start off, Canva builds everything with safety, privacy, and trust, full stop. So probably the biggest expense that we have is on our trust and safety teams to make sure that we guardrail the AI. Secondly, we want to make sure that with Canvas Shield, every piece of element of AI is audited, and we continuously build our systems so that it's not pushing content that is not AI safe, whether that's medical advice or whether that's images that it shouldn't show. And third, for companies that do take a risk, we do two things. We give them control so they can turn on or off any of the AI features. And then we have Canvas Shield. So they get an element of indemnification. In the case there's elements of content that put them legally liable, we cover and we give them the assurance that we have budget to indemnify you for anything that can go wrong.
As with any AI products these days, there are ongoing conversations also around what that's doing to the workforce, how this is impacting graphic designers. Is it putting pressure on people to deliver more quickly? What would you say to those critics that argue you're automating creativity and original work?
Yeah, it's a good question, because if you think about creativity, there's a lot of tasks that happen outside of the creative function. And a lot of these tasks, they're very monotonous and they're not very creative in nature. So we are helping people be a lot more creative on that sense, and we're distilling it to its essence. I think Rick Rubin is on stage tomorrow. Rick Rubin, a lot of time he talks about the creative process, and he says, I'm not a musician. I don't know how to work the board. I have a very strong taste for what I know is creative and it's useful and what is not. And that's what we're enabling people to do with AI. So we're seeing the opposite, which is a lot more people are being more creative because their technical ability is not limiting them to be more creative.
But do you think we're going to move into an age of AI-first creatives, where it's rather than the graphic designer using it as an add-on, it's you and me starting out with AI as our kind of companion? Where do you see things going and the balance?
I think we'll see a balance. I think creators will be hybrid. They will use elements of AI, similar to how Rick Rubin uses elements of music production to be very creative. But then folks that have the design background and the, I would say that have taste, there is a case to be made for taste in art and in music. Those people will excel if they use AI as well. So I think there's a world where we can see both.
And what if they don't use AI? Where do you think that will leave those purists?
I think if you don't use AI, it's similar to you not using creative software, right? So I think you won't be able to produce content as fast, and you'll be stuck in those monotonous tasks. So I think folks that use AI, they will be miles ahead. And ultimately, I think it's going to favor their creativity and their production.
Apart from Rick Rubin, do you have any other examples of where you think AI is being used in a brilliant way in the creative industries?
Yeah, I personally believe that the biggest impact that AI is going to have is the creative space. I think in the world of health and the world of finance, the world of law. So any area where technical expertise is withheld in a certain area, I think those areas are going to flourish now that we all have access to the knowledge. I was recently impressed with Spotify. So Spotify has your yearly wrap. You are able to get a fully curated experience of what you listen to. In my case, I have two little kids, so a lot of Disney music, and a lot of music that they listen to. So my Spotify wrap, I get a highly curated video with content, with the music, with everything, and I learn a lot about myself.
It's quite cool because I think a lot of people think they've got this really niche taste in music, and then you get your rap, and it's oh, actually, it's that 80s artist or
I get a lot of Disney. I get a lot of Celine Dion. So a lot of things that I won't say very openly. But all that, I think it's an amazing element of AI that it allows you to know a little bit about yourself that you had no idea about.
And any other trends that are happening in AI that you think deserve more attention, or that you'd like to share with us as a predictive answer?
I'll talk about the creative space because it's the one that I know best. So I think what we're seeing right now is, as I mentioned, in 2019, we focused around how we can edit the images at scale with AI. Now we're seeing a huge swerve to very visual content and how we can go from text to image, from image to video. I think we're going to start seeing amazing things. The first long-form movie built with AI. Or we're going to start seeing whole marketing campaigns built with AI. So that's very exciting on the creative side. But I think any element of AI that teaches us about ourselves, whether that's in health, whether that's in psychology, whether that's in finance and legal, I think it's going to be incredibly impactful. And I'm very excited personally about that space as well.
Yeah, super. Jorge, we're just waiting to see if our other guests can make it over. They've been on the main stage, and actually what we're hoping to talk about with our next guest is diversity and inclusion. So I wondered if, I know it's not your specialist area, but maybe there's something you'd like to add. I mean, you're obviously originally from Australia, and the company's grown exponentially internationally. So perhaps you could just share some insights around the company and how that fits into those debates.
Yeah, so I think how Canva views diversity and inclusion, I think we cherish it in the way that we're able to get different thoughts from different people at different times. I think by being an Australian company, we have an unfair advantage that immediately we have to span out internationally and become local first and really bet on our local communities. So when you go into Canva, you have very, very specific local content that we're able to gather with diverse backgrounds, diverse cultural nuances.
Can you give us some examples of that? I mean, how Finns are using it differently to Aussies, or for example?
I can give you from my name. I'm originally from Spain. So in Spain, if you go, we have the Three Wise Men celebration in January. If you go and you type it, you can get all kinds of content related to that. But that is produced by our local community. So it's very important that when you are in a platform where you want to design, and let's say you want to design something around the Three Wise Men Day, you're able to pull in the content immediately, and you're able to create with AI that understands cultural nuance. And we're only able to do that because our founders bet very early on around how do we become local first, and how do we cherish and embed different diverse points of view and bring that into the platform.
Yeah, and obviously in a sort of post-pandemic world where we're all working together a lot more remotely, what does that look like day to day in terms of interaction and sharing knowledge between those different teams?
Yeah, it is so I joined Canva 4 years ago. We were in lockdown. So I never actually met a Canvanaut until a year into my Canva journey.
Which country were you in lockdown in?
I was in the UK.
Yeah. Ooh, a tricky one.
Yeah. So we would only go out to walk the dog, but immediately, I mean, I've seen the value of remote work. I've also seen the value of working from the office. And Canva, we really embrace the hybrid work model. We have people that they work better from their homes and coming into the office once a week, or I personally come to the office Tuesdays and Thursdays and meet the team. It's a different way of working that works a little bit different for people, but at Canva we give the guidance is hey, your colleagues are going to be remote, they're going to be in office, they're going to be in different places. Find the way that you can get the most and the best work done for yourself.
So that flexibility and agility is still being celebrated, because we are seeing a lot of companies that are demanding people going back to the office full time. Even in the creative industries, the fashion industry, I know that's been quite a demand in the last couple of months and years, really. How do you view that? Do you think it should be up to each individual employer to make that decision, or do you think in a wider sense it's dangerous to get people forced back at their desks?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think different models work for different companies. So I don't necessarily want to condemn one model. I know that the Canva model works for us. But as you heard from the Xero's CEO, different companies have different cultures, and some companies really need that face-to-face time. Some companies, they prefer a little bit more of a hybrid model. For us, we know that we're able to attract the best talents, that we're able to work in this model, and it's been working for us for the past 4 years. And I don't think we're going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you so much for your insights, for sticking around a little bit over time to share some other insights onto different topics with us. But really interesting to see how the AI tools continue to develop at Canva. So thanks very much for joining us. Jorge Bestard, thank you.